If you've clicked on this video, you're probably a young artist. You might struggle with trauma, maybe even with how to cope with it. At the same time, you might want to share how you're feeling with the world. Well, by the end of the video, I will not only give you my answer on whether you should post vent art, but also if you should even draw it at all. Let's start from the beginning. Throughout history, art has been a mirrored reflection of the human experience. It used to be made only for religious figures and the nobility, as an emblem of status. But, starting in the late 19th century, art as an expression of the personal experience emerged. Art broke free from its societal and capitalistic shackles and became a way to show raw emotion. This resulted in the birth of the Expressionism movement. This Expressionism could be seen as the predecessor that we now know as vent art. In today's day and age, vent art has become a powerful emotional outlet for all artists. It's a canvas for pain, sadness, anger, and sometimes joy. Sometimes artists even feel inclined to share this personal art with others, especially online. With this historical perspective behind us, we will answer an important question about this kind of art. Is the creation and online publication of vent art something we should be worried about? First, let's quickly get the definition out of the way. Best we settle for a broad perspective on vent art. We need to consider art that depicts emotion. But I would also like to take a look at vent art in controlled settings, where the process of making art could be therapeutic. Let's go and assume that vent art is all art that has been made with the purpose of expressing an artist's emotion through the final art piece or through the process of creation. Many view art depicting negative emotions as something uncomfortable, disturbing even. It challenges societal norms and uncovers unsettling experiences lived by artists. Emotions can be expressed in many different ways. Compositions, expressions, shadows, settings, colors, lines, and shapes are all in the toolset for expression. While it might be self-explanatory, vent art serves a purpose beyond mere aesthetic. It has been seen as a tool for therapy since the 20th century, allowing individuals to externalize trauma. In therapeutic settings, creating vent art can be a healing experience, offering a channel to process emotions that are otherwise overwhelming. Art therapy is when a professional guides you through your emotions while you are talking, as well as expressing your thoughts through different forms of art. As written in Tessa Daly's Art as Therapy book, art therapy is the use of art and other visual media in a therapeutic or treatment setting, as this activity ranges from the child scribbling to express him or herself, to the mentally disabled man working with clay, to the graphic painting by a woman deeply depressed. It is clearly very complex. And complex is a great way to describe it. Everyone can engage in therapeutic art making, which to me is already an amazing example of how powerful art can be. But on the other side, some studies have shown that it may not be the most effective method of managing your emotions. Art therapy in particular has been proven effective in many mental illnesses. Even with this, some studies have found that producing art in order to express negative emotions is as effective as doing any other distracting task. For example, solving a puzzle had the same effect on mood as making art to vent overwhelming emotions. This is in contrast to how creating art of positive things actually elevated the mood of participants. I personally found it very surprising how making positive art is much better at getting rid of negative emotions. This might also be relevant to the way positive vent art can be used, but we will explore that later. I wanted to mention how I expected that vent art would be much better for letting out emotion, in a way that helps you feel better afterwards. Just like how taking a weight off your chest might be. While vent art might not be the best solution in terms of emotional regulation, art therapy, on the other hand, is still a good option for coping with mental illness if you have access to a professional therapist. At the same time, the studies have found that making vent art is not directly bad for you. It actually still improves your mood by a bit, so making vent art should not be discredited as a way to self-regulate. But, even with this, there's a delicate balance. When used as your only coping mechanism, vent art might perpetuate negative cycles, worsening mental health struggles. A continuous focus on distressing emotions might reinforce these feelings rather than helping in the healing process. This is because not only making, but viewing a lot of negative or depressing media, you can start having more severe psychological symptoms related to mental illness. Social media platforms are often raw and unfiltered, starting with DeviantArt, then Tumblr, Instagram, Twitter, and now even on TikTok. Vent art can be posted anywhere. On some platforms, content warnings are not an easily accessible button that one can just click. This leaves the task of warning viewers to proactive artists. Vent art can have a profound impact on its audience. While this also depends on how graphic it is, it has the possibility of traumatizing or re-traumatizing viewers. For some, stumbling across vent art might trigger their own unresolved traumas. A solution might be that artists use trigger warnings when appropriate. But while I did do some research into the effect of trigger warnings, most papers were inconclusive. This means I can't say for sure if adding a trigger warning really helps viewers deal with certain content. For some, it might cause a feeling of powerlessness around trauma, while for others, it can better prepare them for certain triggers. So, even if an artist personally adds trigger warnings, this might not even be effective by principle. On the other side of the spectrum, viewing and posting vent art might be a reminder that artists are not alone in their struggles. For me, knowing that I'm not the only one going through certain struggles has helped a lot. Having a community you can relate to can be a comforting thing. This is regardless of whether it's a therapy group or an online fandom. It's also important to acknowledge that vent art isn't exclusively about negative emotions. Like we discussed earlier, artists can also use it to celebrate moments of joy, resilience, and other personal victories. Happy vent art is an overlooked part of the topic that showcases not only the diverse emotional spectrum, but also in which ways art can help people. Maybe a positive vent art one views can be the light at the end of the tunnel, a glimmer of hope for what the future holds. For those who don't grapple with mental health issues, encountering vent art can be uncomfortable. There's often a tendency to dismiss this kind of art, to label it as attention-seeking, to simply scroll past it without considering what it means to the artist, to simply completely ignore the message put out to the world. Often because vent art includes uncomfortable truths of life. This discomfort often leads to a desire to censor or avoid such content altogether. However, I believe censoring vent art equates to suppressing genuine emotions. While I don't mean censoring as in using trigger warnings, it's censoring in the form of shadow banning, in the form of deleting, in the form of taking down accounts that dare to speak on uncomfortable topics. Art, in all its forms, is an outlet for expression. By silencing vent art, we silence the voices of those trying to articulate their inner struggles and triumphs. This brings us to a point of contention. All art is based on self-expression and the experiences of the person making the art. So, I believe in a way, all art is vent art, even commissioned art pieces. It's just a matter of how much the artist hides or shows their identity with their art. Vent art can be used both positively and negatively, not only when creating the art, but also when it is posted online. Because of the research we've done, I feel positive vent art should always be encouraged. If we censor our art, we censor our feelings, and that is something I don't think should be necessary. This also holds for negative vent art. Although I feel people should be more careful about not creating and posting too much vent art, as it could lead to negative spirals. Perhaps I still personally see trigger warnings as a positive phenomenon. The solution lies not in further censoring vent art. Promoting empathy, understanding, and providing proper support systems for both artists and the viewers is what we need. Encouraging open dialogue and creating safe spaces where emotions can be expressed freely without judgment is a crucial step. We need to help people get the mental help they need, while also allowing them to vent in whichever way they need. But until we can achieve that, having communities for artists is a great start. Hey there, I hope you're doing okay right now. Thank you for watching so far into this video. It means a lot to me that you got to hear this part. I wanted to mention that all of the digital vent art depicted in this video is my own. It just felt kinda wrong to use someone else's personal art all willy-nilly. Vent art often gets deleted, so people might not want it to be seen in a video forever, even if they were to give consent initially. That being said, I hope I was able to give some insight and some perspectives you haven't heard on this topic. I'm also open to discussion in the comment section. I'd love to hear your thoughts. All sources will be in the description, and I'll make a comment if something gets more research later on and perspectives change. I'll also link another great video on the topic by Lolo Coco, made a few years ago. It's a great take. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time. Take care.